Hi, this is Scotty with Profit System Blueprint, and we're back with another video here. And in this video, we're going to continue the process of setting up our WordPress blog manually. In the previous video, we took a look at the 3 steps that we needed to go through. And step 1, we needed to create our database. So we did that in the previous video. And step 2, we're going to take a look at downloading the actual script that we're going to use for establishing our WordPress blog, and then we'll also look at making some changes to that script in order to establish a connection with our database. So with that said, let's get started. If you haven't already done so, you may want to download the latest version of WordPress from wordpress.org. And that's where I am now, wordpress.org. You can simply type that into your address bar and go there. And we're looking to download the latest version of WordPress. At this recording, the latest version happens to be version 2.8.6. Okay, so that's what we're going to download. And to download it, we simply click on the download link here, and that would allow us to download the script. I've already downloaded it, so I'm not going to download it here. But if you haven't already done so, again, just go to wordpress.org and download the latest version. Now that we've downloaded the latest version of WordPress, what we're going to do is go ahead and extract that. And when you download it, just make sure you put it in a place where you have quick and easy access to it. So here I'm going to extract this, and I'll extract these files right here. It takes just a few seconds to unpack these files. And then once that's done, we'll take a look at the content of the WordPress folder. We have everything unpacked now, so let's take a look at the content of the folder. Here we see the content of the WordPress folder. These are all of the files that we will eventually need to upload to our web host in order to set up our WordPress blog. Now, before we do that, there's a couple of changes that we need to make to one of the files here, and in particular that would be this file here, the wp-config-sample.php. Probably the first thing we'll do is we'll change the name of this file. So I'm simply going to rename it, and I'm just going to rename it to wp-config.php. Okay. Now, once that file is renamed, we then want to make a couple of changes to the content of that particular file. So I'm going to use Notepad. I'm going to use Notepad to make some minor changes to the content of this file. Now, if you remember in the previous video that we did, we left off with having established our database, and the information that is found inside of that file that we saved, there's certain information that we either wanted to jot down on a separate sheet of paper or somehow take note of it. I've got that page still open, so this is the information that we'll be using. We are going to need the host name, we're going to need the database name, and we're going to need the username and password that we established for this particular user. So those are the bits of information that we need to take away from this information here and insert it into our configuration file. So there's a couple of places here where that information needs to be inserted. Okay, so the first bit of information that I'm going to grab will be the database name. So the database name is here. I'll copy that, and I'm going to come back to my notepad, and right where it says your database name, I'll paste that information right in there. Okay. The next bit of information we're going to need is the host name. I'll just copy that information, and we'll come down here and we'll place that into where it asks for the database host name. Now, just as a side note, there are lots of web host providers where this default setting of local host, for a lot of web host providers, this default name of localhost will be sufficient. You won't even have to make this change. Okay, but for my particular provider, they do supply a specific URL for that information, so that's what I'm going to use there as far as the database host name is concerned. The other bit of information that I'm going to be needing is the username. So once again, I can come back here and copy the username. I'll come here and I'll put in the username, and lastly the password. Okay, so I'll type in the password, so we have all of the information that we need here, and we'll go ahead and save this file. Okay, the next thing that we want to do is to go ahead and, using a FTP client, we want to upload all of the files that we've downloaded, our WordPress files. We want to upload all of those files to our web server. So I'm going to use an FTP client called FileZilla. FileZilla is available from the Mozilla website. It's totally free. So if you don't have an FTP program, you can simply go to mozilla.com and download a copy of FileZilla. I'm not going to get into the details of how to use it at this particular time. I'll assume that you are familiar with using an FTP program. Okay, but what I'm going to do here, using FileZilla, basically what I want to do is I need a place to upload my blog to. So I'm going to simply create a new directory, and this directory I'll simply call it WordPress 2. Okay, WordPress 2, and I'll select OK. I'll scroll down here. Here's the folder in which I'm going to upload my new WordPress blog. Okay, as you can see now, the folder is empty. So let's go and grab the files that we just downloaded and modified for WordPress. Here we go. I'm just going to select all of these files. You can do that quickly and easily by just pressing Control A, and I'm just going to drag these files into FileZilla, and now these files are ready to be uploaded. So now that these files are ready to be uploaded, I'll go ahead and upload these files. And while these files are uploading, I'm simply going to pause the video and I'll resume it as soon as these files have completed uploading.